everybody. Welcome to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Coffee and a members-only Jack and Anderson.
I'm Todd. I think I've got coming down with a cold keen.
And this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And every single thing in between. I think we're both a little sick today. I think that's very, very correct. I think that's really, really stinky.
You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of politics and movies.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to talk about a little bit of some of that stuff. What am I talking about? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We got a lot of awesome stuff to talk about today.
Oh, absolutely.
And before we get into what exactly Tyler talked about at the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about something that came out earlier this week, and that is the Black Widow trailer.
And I really enjoyed it.
Heard that. Well, Tyler, can you describe to me, like, because you're more of a comic book movie guy than I am.
Yes.
What is this Black Widow movie going to be about?
It's going to in between after Civil War, because you can recall after Civil War, everything about her became public.
Okay.
And she's going to go back to Russia, but it sounds like they still have the Black Widow program going on, even though the Soviet Union's over. So I think it's going to deal with her going back and try to stop the program from going on, and she's going to meet up with her adopted sister and the woman who trained her, and with the Red Guardian, which is he was the Russian Captain America.
Okay, and which is played by David Harbour, I guess.
David Harbour.
Yeah. So watching this trailer, what did you think about the trailer?
I thought it reminded me a little bit of Bourne.
Okay.
I like that, and it's like a little bit of Winter Soldier in there too. I like that. Heard
that. And another one of our topics, actually, which is the James Bond trailer that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. When I was looking at just the intro to both of them, they both look very, very similar. I'm just going to pull the James Bond trailer up, I think. Yeah, like they just kind of start on those landscape shots. I got them confused at the beginning. Like, which one is which? See, at the beginning. I don't know why.
Which one's which?
I know
which
exactly.
Which one's which?
But yeah, obviously, Black Widow is a character that we've seen a lot all throughout the films and everything. I enjoyed this trailer, but the biggest thing I have a problem with is, like, I just don't care about seeing this whatsoever. We just had the biggest movie of all time, like the biggest cinematic culmination ever, like in cinematic history, and now we're gonna follow it up with the Black Widow solo movie. Like, I just don't want to see it. Like,
well, I think a lot of people out there watched her die, and they're like, well, we saw how he died. Like, we could.
She lives, yeah.
Oh no, she doesn't live.
Oh, through this?
Oh no, she's gonna live through this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The movie.
Well, this is kind of like setting up to where did she come from, kind of thing. Yeah, you got bits and pieces, but like, what's the story?
Heard that. Does it matter?
Yes, I guess it kind of does. She's dead. It's kind of like.
No, I mean, does it? I mean,
It's like a eulogy.
We know enough about her. Knowing too much about anybody is always a bad thing. But that was the biggest hurdle for me. Overall, like, if we're gonna go see this movie, I think it was pretty well done. I mean, I saw somebody put on Facebook that's like, oh, look at all the cinematic parallels between this and Captain Marvel, and somebody's like, oh, there's no cinematic parallels. All the movies just look the same. And they're kind of right. I think Scarlett Johansson is a pretty great actress in this role. At first, I thought she was a little bit one note as that character, but I like it. I like kind of the place they're going with it. It's directed by a woman named Kate Shortland. I don't know. Do you know who Kate Shortland is?
Did she do like an?
It's this lady.
Did she do an independent film like a while back and made a lot of money?
Yeah, it was a movie called Berlin Syndrome. I've heard of the Berlin Syndrome.
And then they gave her a massive, here's a multi-million-dollar budget.
Essentially. Well, she made a bunch of movies before this.
Like, make $1 billion or you're a failure kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they placed their bets on somebody that's had, like, 2 really successful indie movies. Yeah. But they wanted to have a female director for this. I think it's pretty cool that we have a female director for this. Yeah. And Florence Pugh is going to be in this movie, obviously from Midsommar fame.
I mean, they're really good cast. I got to say, really good casting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. But I don't want to see it. But, like, I'm excited to see what exactly it turns out. But, like, it's like I'm excited, but I'm not excited. Does that make sense? Like, does it make any sense whatsoever?
Not at all.
Okay, well, forget it. I'm interested. Not excited. Interested. Let's put it that way. But speaking of completely interested, James Bond, No Time to Die, just came out with a new trailer that we briefly just mentioned, but we're going to mention even more right now.
I barely remember Spectre.
I remember seeing Spectre. I think I saw it on Thanksgiving of that year, and I forgot it. I fell asleep during it because I got so bored. I didn't like it very much at all. I remember there was like the big explosion. I remember there was a lot of missed opportunities in the movie. Especially like there's a scene where like James Bond's like, this needle's gonna make you forget everybody you love, and I thought, oh, James Bond's gonna like turn for like 10 minutes in the movie. He's gonna like try to kill like the Bond girl, and he's gonna like come to his senses. No, he just shakes it off and then he moves on. Like the whole movie's like that. But that one was the last one directed by what's his name? The guy that directed Skyfall. Goodness, what's his name? What's his name?
It's not Boyle, is it?
No, it's not Boyle. Dang it. Well, the one that's directing this is Kerry Joji Fukunaga. And there was a big deliberation between that and the guy directed 1917. Why can't I think of his name? You know this. You know who I'm talking about, correct? Goodness. I'll have to think about it in just a minute, but maybe during the break. But this movie's been in some production hard waters and everything. It's been a little bit weird, but this is we finally got a trailer for it. What do you think about it?
I want David Fincher to do one of them.
That's never going to happen.
It'd be awesome though if it did happen.
It'd be really cool, but it will never happen. Yeah. But what did you think about this trailer?
It's James Bond.
Heard that. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
James Bond.
I enjoyed the trailer. I didn't think it was mind-blowing by any stretch. I mean, it's pretty consistent with the tone that they've set up and everything. Obviously, they're going with the darker, more serious James Bond. I don't know exactly they're going to go after this. Maybe they're going to take it after Marvel and like try to do like a fun James Bond again.
I really don't feel like it's James Bond anymore.
Yeah, I don't. James Bond's kind of getting very stale, I think. I mean, granted, we don't get one every year, which I'm very happy about.
See, the one of the best things about James Bond was that the films, they were serious, but they were also a little bit whimsical at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, these are a little whimsical, too. Look at this. Look at that.
I mean, like a tad bit of humor.
Yeah. Well, there's no humor in these.
Absolutely not. Which they're good action films their own, but I never felt they were really good James Bond movies.
Yeah. Well, what makes a good James Bond movie to you?
Well, the gadgets, the whole Playboy-esque persona. Because you remember back in the day, you used to watch James Bond like, oh, if I could just be that guy, if I could just be Pierce Brosnan, if I was just as smooth as Sean Connery still is, and look how Roger Moore is just so awesome, and you see this like
I don't think anybody in their right mind thought Roger Moore was awesome.
Okay, well better than what was Birdsby? What was that guy? The one-shot James Bond? Her Majesty's Secret Service.
He was Jimmy Bond, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name was, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
See, and I just felt like you see this, you're like Daniel Craig's really tough in this. Yeah, there's a lot of action, but it doesn't have it really doesn't have the elements of the James Bond anymore. I feel like they're losing it as they go. It keeps falling away from the source material.
Yeah, well, I mean, not everybody can be Christopher Lee. That's the point of James Bond. Because if you don't know, James Bond is actually based on Christopher Lee, his actual self, because he's just that cool.
Actually, I thought it was named. It was actually a guy who did this in World War I. He wrote the books after.
Part of it's based on Christopher Lee. That is a fact. Ian Fleming was good friends with Christopher Lee, and then Christopher Lee did a lot of these things.
And Ian Fleming was the he would do the paperwork for the spy dude, and he would just like, and he said he was like the coolest spy, but he's also the worst because he would always give his name out and sleep with a lot of women while he was on missions, and they're like, that's not good. You jeopardize yourself every time you go out in the field.
Well, that definitely became a trademark of Mr. James Bond. But overall, I think that this movie, I'm interested to see Rami Malek's character. These villains always just kind of seem like it. Like Blofeld in the last one felt like really understated, and he's in this one too.
See, that's the best part of James Bond movie. The movie has to have a really good villain, because who's more memorable? When you think of the movie, who do you think of more, James Bond or the villain he was fighting?
Most likely the villain. Yeah. I mean, obviously. I think that goes without saying.
Right, like there's villains you can give the name for, and everybody knows which movie that was. I can just say Goldfinger. Yeah. Like, that's Goldfinger.
Well, of course, his name's in the title. But I liked Spectre a little bit. I like Skyfall much more. But any final thoughts on this before we go on, buddy?
Mr. Bond, you were thinking vertically, but you weren't thinking horizontally.
What is that from?
It was from Casino Royale when they were playing Connect 4 at the casino thing on the boat. Remember?
Boo!
No,
Boo!
That was a good scene. He started crying blood. That was a good scene.
Okay. Speaking about crying blood, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker
are
a bunch of scam artists that are also allegedly But
No.
truthfully-
They went to jail. He went to jail for it.
Oh yeah, it's most.
It's not allegedly. He got put
He
in
most
court.
certainly did it. Yeah. What am I saying? He's not allegedly. He most certainly did it. They are getting a movie about themselves called The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Praise the what was it? It was Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, yeah.
It was Praise Ministry, the network. What? Pete, was it Praise
They had
the
like
Lord
their
network?
They had like their own network, the TV show. They had their own theme park, and they making a movie about them. And in case you don't know who Jim and Tammy Faye Baker are, Tyler, why don't you tell everybody who Jim and Tammy Faye Baker are?
Back in the day, they were big televangelists.
Like what day? What's the day?
I would say like 80s, 70s,
Late 70s, early 80s, yeah.
80s, up until like I'm gonna say like almost going into the late 80s, early 90s, and they started off small, got big, got really big, started making a lot of money, built their own theme park, had their own TV channel. It was just they were raking in the dough, and then suspicious things started happening. Like Tammy, she went from like Kmart accessories to like Vera Wang diamonds and jewelry. I mean, she started wearing like she'd go on the show and she'd have $2 or $3 million worth of jewelry on, and they were selling these condos at like you can buy your own condo inside of the theme park.
Short version.
So they got to where this one was getting sold to the same people over and over and over and over.
So
again.
basically, they just scammed a bunch of people, and this guy had an affair with his wife. This woman wore a bunch of eyeliner and makeup and was kind of scammy too. And they stole a bunch of money from a lot of people, claiming that it was all in the Lord's work. And they got in legal trouble for it, and they lost their whole empire. And he went to prison, and I think she died, and he remarried.
She remarried the guy, his business partner that was running the scam with. That didn't get he didn't get arrested for it.
Yeah.
So she remarried him and said, I didn't know anything about they were stealing money, and then they went back to like stealing money.
I heard that. Well, as far as this movie goes, Andrew Garfield is going to be playing Mr. Jim Baker, and then Miss what's her name, Jessica Chastain, is going to be playing Tammy Faye herself, the Queen of Eyeliner, as they call her. Yeah. So what do you think about this casting?
She's a little bit too attractive.
A little bit too attractive? What about Andrew Garfield?
Oh, he's about on par with
I don't know,
Jim
man.
Baker. Now, like Jessica Chastain's
Chastain's a little bit too good looking. Tammy Faye just kind of like you could smell the perfume and like the powder coming off her face as she was going by.
I mean, it was a pound of makeup. They used to have these real shirts as I ran into Tammy Faye Baker at Walmart, and it was like a face on the shirt where it was makeup.
Yeah, but I want to see this movie partly because the story is just so interesting and so weird. And also, Vincent D'Onofrio is going to play Jerry Falwell. I think that's good casting.
Her face had more icing than a wedding cake.
Heard that. But what do you think about Vincent D'Onofrio as Jerry Falwell?
Well, Vincent D'Onofrio, he's really never really disappointed me.
Heard that. Well, Jerry Falwell was an interesting guy. In case you don't know who Jerry Falwell is, he was the creator of Liberty University. Mm-hmm. He was also a famous hater of the Teletubbies and Ellen DeGeneres. And he was the epitome of like stucky old white guy.
Well, I don't like those things either.
Well, you're right up Jerry Falwell's alley.
Wow.
His son took over for the school now. He's a lot cooler than his dad was. But this was all kind of tied together and everything. I'm really interested to see this movie. I don't think they have a director attached quite yet, but I'm really curious to see where it goes. Any final thoughts on this, buddy?
I'll watch it.
Okay. I'm very interested about it. But speaking about interested but not interested at all, Star Wars Episode 9 just came out with a few more TV spots.
Actually, no, I'm excited for this. I really, truly am, because from what I've heard behind the scenes, it could possibly be the biggest train wreck in cinematic history.
Now, I don't think this is going to be a train wreck per se, but specifically, I wanted to talk about the day because I think we can pretty much piece the plot together through all the things. Like, they haven't spoiled anything. They haven't really shown the Emperor yet. We can hear him, but like in some of the clips, like especially in this clip that we have up here, they show a dagger in this, and we'll go to that. We'll keep playing the stuff behind it because there's a bunch of new clips, just like little 1-second clips in each one of them. By the way, that Leia shot looks very computery. I don't know what it is. It feels weird. She's like a computer robot.
It almost seems like she wasn't there, but they put her in the movie.
Well, that was a footage that she.
Why couldn't they just get her in the movie? Why could they just
like
have her?
That shot right there.
Yeah,
looks a little weird.
Why couldn't they just been like, "Hey, stay here to film this film while you're here"?
I don't know.
You know, like it's almost like she wasn't there, or like on this planet when they were filming it.
Oh.
Or maybe on this level of Earth.
Maybe probably.
Maybe like
so.
8 feet under.
6 feet.
6 feet. There we go.
Don't get snazzy with me.
Okay.
But as far as that goes, They have the dagger up there, which I believe is probably going to be the MacGuffin of how they find Palpatine. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all but confirmed now. And I think the reason C-3PO's got the red eyes and everything is because he's got it decoded, but it's probably going to wipe his memory or something, and that's why he's saying, I'm going to take one last look at my friends. And nerds cry everywhere.
See, I'll tell you about the two new characters I heard they're introducing, right?
Who are the two new characters?
It was MacGuffin and Red Herring.
Well, they're most certainly in there. And also, this guy kind of helped write some of it, I heard.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Oh. I know one guy, one of our buddies, that think that is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, well, George Lucas is an idea man. I mean, maybe that'll turn out okay. But I will say, at
Lawrence Kasdan.
Well, I think he's more of a script for hire kind of guy. But this movie, I'm interested to see how exactly it goes out because I've heard a lot of things about it. I think it's going to basically revolve around like a host of MacGuffins, and I think Palpatine's probably going to be at the end, going to face down. Rey's going to probably defeat him very easily.
Because what I've heard was from an insider that they were doing the film was done and they were doing screenings for it, and Bob Iger got real upset after the first act and kept saying we're over this, we're done, this is going to ruin us.
That can't be true.
And he ordered a lot of reshoots and redones, and I've heard the test audience score was extremely negative after the first.
I also heard that, and I heard they were getting a massive reshoots on it. But I've heard the story is locked in. They think they have a banger on their hands. I don't know.
Do you think it's going to turn into Solo where nobody watches it? They spend all this money to redo it?
Most certainly people are going to watch this because either people are going to really love it or really hate it. But I have no idea. But any final thoughts on this before we go on, buddy?
I'm tired of Star Wars.
I'm tired of Star Wars too, but I'm interested to see what this is going to be. But yeah. What do you guys think is going to happen in the new Star Wars? You can leave a comment at facebook.com.
I'll tell you.
NCC.
She's going to Mary Sue her way through the movie and be the hero in the end.
Most likely. You can also leave it at youtube.com/NashComCollege or find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thanks so much for watching so far. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Knives Out. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Man, I am...
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
Oh, sickness. Guys, welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac. I was sick last week. Anderson.
I'm Tyler. I think I'm getting that sickness keen.
And, hey, we share everything together.
Absolutely, even girlfriends. I know that's a lie. Well, if we had them, we would.
Yeah, I was about to say, we share imagination?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on,
our
Tyler.
imagination.
All right, so, speaking about imaginations, we saw a movie this week, and we're going to talk about it right now. Tyler, what did we see this week?
I saw Knives Out. I don't know what you saw.
I saw Knives Out, too. What was Knives Out about?
Who done it?
Okay. Well, can you be a little more specific than that?
Who done it with rich people?
Okay, essentially. Well, Knives Out is basically about like this family that has a book empire, and their dad mysteriously kills himself, and the police investigate, and a private investigator played by Daniel Craig is called in to figure out who exactly did it. And they have to go through all the family, including the people that help out in the house, including the nurse, the maid, and everything. It's a classic whodunit, and it's directed by Rian Johnson, the guy that directed The Last Jedi.
I really felt like it really reminded me of a Pierrot story.
Heard that. Well, what did you like? Did you like the movie or not?
It was entertaining, and I kind of felt like it's been better than most of what I've seen this year.
Okay.
I thought the performances in there were really strong. It's really like all around, this big circle of big performances. I thought that Daniel Craig did an incredible job. Michael Shannon did a really good job, and I found out a lot of Michael Shannon's parts was all improv. He had very little lines. Said most of that was improv.
Are you being for real right now?
I'm being for real. It was in the news. Like he was talking about who was your favorite. Who was all the actors? Who did you like working with the most? Is Michael Shannon. He said he met Michael Shannon and he was just like, this guy he's an actor's actor. This guy is great. He said he works well with the directors. He said he was hilarious behind the scenes, and he was just like he gave him little lines. He goes, Michael, what would this character do? And there it was.
Yeah.
So he was the character.
Heard that.
And I could see it. I'm like, this. He did. I have to say, like everybody, Michael Shannon was my favorite.
Heard that. And I thought he was really good too. I thought this movie was pretty good. I didn't think it was completely great, and that's okay. Everything seems like it has to go to one extreme or the other. It has to be really terrible or really great. But this one was really good. I enjoyed it. I specifically really liked the
Ana de Armas's face.
What?
Ana de Armas's face.
Well, I think so. They tried to play her down for this movie, but you can't play down that woman. She's a gorgeous woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I really liked was the characters and the characterization of everybody. I also liked some of the writing and everything. Some of it felt a little bit on the nose, but still vague, if that makes any sense. We'll get into that just real quick, and we'll have to fly through this. But I love the cinematography of it. I love the shots. I enjoy this quite a bit, but I was really struggling to figure out what exactly it was trying to say, and we'll get into that real quick. But first off, Tyler, what did you think about the characters and performances?
I really felt like all the characters were really unique. I really liked that. Like they all had distinct personalities, and about Michael Shannon. I thought Toni Collette did incredible jobs.
They all had backgrounds too.
Yeah, I love that in the backgrounds, and a lot of them each had their own kind of motive.
Yeah.
Kind of and it was all weird little motives behind them, and they were all kooky characters.
And you legitimately probably didn't know who did it until I kind of figured it out about halfway through, and we won't spoil it here, I don't think, but without spoiling anything, you kind of think you figured out, you know who did it, and then it kind of makes you question it as you go on, so. As far as that goes, that was really great. The cinematography by Steve Yelwin, I think his name is. He also does all the cinematography on Rian Johnson's films. Did really great. I love the shot, especially them going past the knife chair like that. Daniel Craig was the star of this movie for me. I loved Daniel Craig in this. By far.
I loved his accent too.
I thought his accent was going to get annoying, but I really enjoyed it.
That kind of Louisiana aristocratic, Southern aristocrat kind of had a little bit of Cajun in there.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed him. I thought he was fun. Every single scene he was in, I looked forward to. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts that he says in the entire film, everybody was like, "Why is he here? Why is he here?" He goes, "My presence is just ornamental. You will not hear nor see me." I was just like, "Wow!" That was
good.
It was really good. That was one of my. I gotta say, the dialogue was really nice.
Heard that. Well, right there we got Mr. Rian Johnson sitting next to that little gorgeous lady and that little gorgeous man. Obviously, he's got a lot of backlash from his past movie, The Last Jedi, about his writing and everything. I thought there was going to be something stupid in here, like they all did it or nobody did it, so why even look? But this one was a little bit more of a satisfying film than The Last Jedi was. What do you think about Rian Johnson's writing and directing?
Okay, I feel like he's a hit and miss.
Okay.
I saw Brick. I thought Brick was really good. Then I saw Looper, and Looper's one of those movies that maybe if I'm bored on Friday and Tuesday to 2 o'clock and I'm watching FX, it was just not it's one of those movies I never want to see again. Only if I'm really desperate to watch something. And then I did not like The Force Awakens. So that was the worst dialogue.
Oh, you mean The Last Jedi?
Yeah, The Last Jedi. So the worst dialogue writing, script, worst of it. It was just baffling to me.
Heard that.
And then he goes and does something like this. I'm just like,
it's pretty solid, yeah.
It's something where was this at? Did he learn from how to write a screenplay in between this and the Last Jedi?
I don't know. I'm kind of like you. It's hit or miss for me. The biggest problem with the writing I have with this is because, without going too far into detail, there was certain ideals. Like I felt like the movie was trying to say something. The whole movie was like a message, and I didn't understand what exactly that message was. All the metaphors were very clear.
Absolutely.
And I didn't understand what exactly he was trying to say with it. I described it as like me trying to talk to a woman and like me trying to say a pickup line. They kind of know where it was going, but it gets so muddled and weird. It's like, what are you trying to say? You know?
That's not true. Women don't talk to you.
Well, yeah, I don't. I mean, I try to talk to women, but we all going to be honest. It's not how it happens.
Yeah.
But that was my biggest problem with the movie. Did you feel the same way?
Well, for me, it wasn't as obvious for me as it was for you, because it's kind of like, I don't think it was really intentional. I think he wanted to do that, but it was like it's not obvious that he was trying to do that unless you kind of sit there and think about it and piece it back together. Because what I got was like I got a lot of SJW tones out of it, and I felt like it was a parody of somebody else, like he was making fun of somebody.
Yeah, I can see that. I felt like it was trying to say like us as Americans should do this because it was very political. The thing was, but I don't know. That didn't ruin the movie for me. Otherwise, if you take that kind of stuff out of the movie and just look at it, just kind of like you wanted to put that stuff in there, fine.
Like we should only give our money to attractive immigrants.
That's kind of what I thought. I'm like, what are you trying to say with this? That was kind of like one. I'm like, is that not exactly that, but not far off.
Or we should only allow attractive immigrants to immigrate to the United States.
I don't think that was the meaning, but hey.
I think that's what I got out of it.
Anyway, I enjoy this movie a lot. I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10.
I'm actually going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
But for me, without the character, I feel like the acting is really what makes this film great.
Yeah.
It wasn't the story, and even that cinematography and light, but I feel like, because it was pretty standard, but the acting for me is what really drawn out the magic of this film.
Heard that. Well, guys, what did you think about Knives Out if you got to see it? You can leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC.
I thought Chris Evans was simply delightful in this film.
Yeah, Chris Evans was definitely fantastic. He was another highlight of this movie. But yeah, you can leave a comment there. Let us know what you guys think. But thank you guys so much for watching. Next week, we're going to be reviewing Honey Boy, which is the Shia LaBeouf written movie, and also he's starring in it as his own father. So
is this a sequel to the Peanut Butter Falcon?
No, it's an alternate universe Peanut Butter Falcon, almost. But guys, thanks so much for watching.
He's got Down syndrome.
Well,
and
that's to be continued.
Oh.
Guys, my name is Isaac. I was sick last week. Anderson.
I'm Tyler. I'm going to be sick, Keen.
Stay lovely. Have a good weekend.
So in this